Welcome, friends. Today, we are doing another fragrance review. Magnificent. That is right, my friends. Once again, I have returned to you, this time with another motherfucking fragrance review. How fun. And the fragrance we will be reviewing today is Be Men by Thierry Mugler. This fragrance review will follow my tried and trusty technique of telling you the notes, telling you which notes I get, and then just discussing the fragrance at length, if you will. So, Be Men. Be Men was released in 2004, and the perfumers was Jacques Mugler, who was the perfumer for the original Amen and most of its flankers, and Christine Nagel of Hermes fame and many other fames, to be fair. She's not just famous for being in-house perfumer at Hermes. Oh. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. This comes with a little blurb. Let me read it to you. Inspired by comics about superheroes, the new fresh and woody hero Be Men appeared in 2004. Be Men represents the embodiment of Thierry Mugler's great child passion towards comic books and superheroes. This fragrance is the second superhero after the Amen, coming up in fantastic strength. It is more dynamic and powerful, being that it is meant to be the champion in a world full of danger. Knowing the story, we can now understand the unusual colours of the bottle. Red star and the colour of a military uniform. The fragrance was created by Christine Nagel and Jacques Mugler. The noble woody heart of the previous Amen, greatly estimated, inspired the perfumers to make the composition of Be Men woody with spices at the centre, and fruity and spicy notes of rhubarb, oriental and dried woods notes are at the base. This perfume was introduced in 2004. Good grief! Good grief! I will now tell you the notes. Leather, licorice, patchouli, vanilla anise, musk, violet, vetiver, and spices. Good God. This is my refill, friends. I used to have the bottle, but I sold it. And it was full, so I sold it to someone when it was full. And so let us spray. The notes I get are anise, licorice, which is essentially very similar, vanilla, violet, vetiver, and patchouli. So this was the original flanker. Released in 2004. Let me tell you something. Have you ever heard of a fragrance called Eau Masculine by Lolita Lempicka, which was released 4 years earlier, I believe? Was it released 4 years earlier? Someone tell me. Yes, it was. And it was made by Annick Minardo. This fragrance is extremely similar to Eau Masculine. From the anise, the patchouli, the vanilla, and even the violet, which I'm sure is part of the anise kind of accord thing. It's very similar to that fragrance. You don't need both, put it like that. They're that similar. The negligible differences, actually. Unless you're an Amen collector, you probably don't need Be Men if you already have Eau Masculine. This starts off a little spicy, but very creamy vanilla. It doesn't have the tar that is in Amen. It doesn't have that bombastic, outrageous lavender, caramel, coffee trio that kind of strings the perfume out, you know, or like runs almost top to bottom through the perfume. There is patchouli, but it's soft. It's not syrupy. It's not harsh. This is very well made. It's actually quite subtle in a way. It's transitions and its movements. It's what do I call it? It's motion. Its motion throughout its lifetime is very subtle, actually. The anise and the licorice, that kind of vibe, you know, it's there, and it kind of stays there until the dry down, where it just becomes this kind of creamy, patchouli, vanilla, vetiver, like the creamy aspects of all three of those. For me, strangely, I don't want to say it's the star of the show, but it does come in, and it reminds me of the violet leaf that's in modern Fahrenheit. Not the old Fahrenheit when it smelled like petrol, but the modern Fahrenheit where it's a lot smoother. There's a very smooth violet in here. Very smooth, very creamy, very subtle, very classy actually. It's a really nice fragrance, this. I just never wore it, and I never reached for it, which was a shame. So I'm letting it go, like catching a lovely fish and throwing it back into the pond. The bottle's gorgeous. It does have that kind of gunmetal grey with the red star. They looked amazing, all strung out together, all put out together. Performance is nuclear, of course, but not quite as outrageous as Amen. The original Amen's still a bombastic perfume. And that is it, my friends. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you all again soon. Bye.